You've had the same conversation about your life 3 times this week. Same frustration, same analysis, same fucking conclusion. The system is rigged. I don't know what to do. Everything's harder now. And here's the weird part. You feel productive when you say it. Like you're finally addressing the problem. Like you're being honest, real. But nothing changes. You wake up tomorrow. Same loop, same complaints, different day. Your friends are tired of hearing it. You're tired of hearing yourself. But you can't stop. And every time you repeat it, you're not venting. You're training. Because what you call thinking about your problems, it's not thinking at all. It's a biological glitch, a neurological trap that's been running in the background of your brain for years. And there's a name for it. It's called blah, blah, blah. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Psychologists call it semantic void. But the better name is blah, blah, blah. It's when your words lose their connection to reality. You're making sounds that feel like analysis, deep thoughts, important observations, but there's no meaning underneath, just noise, like a sheep bleating or a broken record spinning. Here's what's actually happening in your brain. When you lack a text, a plan, a structure, a concrete next step, your speech degenerates. It becomes what Pavlov called a subcortical dominant. Translation? A primitive spike of electrical activity in your ancient brain. Your brain stem, the part that ran the show when you were a lizard. And this spike, it hijacks your conscious mind. Your cortex, the smart part, the part that's supposed to be in charge, starts serving this depressive electrical pulse. It manufactures thoughts to justify the feeling. You think you're analyzing why your job sucks. But really, your brainstem is just screaming, and your cortex is translating that scream into words. I hate my boss. I'm underpaid. The economy is broken. It sounds smart. It feels real, but it's just bleeding. Think of it like this. There's a doctor named Debbie. She sees the chaos. She panics. She screams. This is terrible. How did it get this bad? What do we do? Then she collapses on the table, sobbing. But here's the thing. Debbie never offers a solution. She just repeats the diagnosis over and over and over. It's so bad. It's so bad. What are we gonna do? It's so bad. That's 90% of people. That's your Twitter feed, your group chat, your dinner table. That's you last Tuesday. And here's the trap. The myth. If I talk about my problems enough, I'm solving them. I'm expressing myself. I'm processing. The reality, you're not venting pressure, you're building it. Every loop drives the depressive spike deeper into your brain. You're not doing catharsis, you're doing conditioning. It's not insight, it's a pathological reflex. So how do you break it? First, you have to catch it, and that's harder than it sounds. Because your deep analysis of why life is hard, it's not analysis. It's biological distress mimicking intelligence. Most people never catch it because it feels so real. So here's how you detect it. It's called the 3-loop rule. When you find yourself making the same point for the 3rd time in one conversation, stop. Not similar point, the exact same conclusion. Example. I just feel like things are unfair. 5 minutes later. It's just so unfair, you know? 10 minutes later. I mean, why is everything so unfair? That's not thinking. That's a loop. And here's why this matters. When you repeat a thought without new data, you're strengthening the neural pathway. Like walking the same trail in the woods. You're digging a groove. Every repetition makes it harder to think differently. You think you're working through it, but you're actually cementing it. Your brain learns. This is how we respond to stress. We loop. And the more you loop, the more automatic it becomes. So, catch yourself 3 loops deep? Good. You're ready for step 2. because detection is useless without the interrupt. The way to stop a thought loop isn't to push through it or reframe it. It's to humiliate it, strip it of its dignity. Here's the tool. It's called the blah 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 label. The second you catch the third loop, stop mid-sentence and say out loud, "This is just blah blah blah." Yes, out loud. If you're alone, say it to yourself. If you're with someone, say it to them. Wait, I'm doing it again. This is just noise. Why does this work? Labeling creates meta-awareness. Your brain can't loop and observe the loop at the same time. It's like trying to be hypnotized while watching yourself be hypnotized. The circuits don't fire together. The moment you name it as nonsense, the subcortical dominant loses power. And here's the psychological trick. You're not treating your problem as a deep philosophical issue anymore. You're treating it like a mechanical noise, like tinnitus or a car alarm going off down the street. And you don't debate with a car alarm. You don't analyze it. You don't explore its deeper meaning. You turn it off. Same thing here. Label it, call it noise, move on. But here's where most people fuck it up. They label it. They stop talking. And then they fill the silence with more blah blah blah. A new loop, same structure, different words. That's why you need step 3. Silence after the interrupt? That's not the goal. The goal is to replace the noise with a text. Text, session, a plan, a structure, a concrete next step. Here's the tool. It's called the 2-question filter. After you label the blah blah blah, ask yourself 2 questions. Question 1, do I have a text for this? Meaning, do I have an action I can take in the next 24 hours? Not, I should probably think about X? Not, maybe I'll look into Y. A real action with a verb and a deadline. Question 2, if no, why am I still talking? If you don't have a text, the only correct response is silence, because every additional word without a plan is just rewiring your brain for helplessness. This is called discursive impotence. Your speech can't crystallize into action. It's like trying to build a house with wet cement. It just spreads. The more you talk without a text, the more you train your brain that talking's doing, and it's not. So, if you do have a text, state the action, nothing else. I will email Sarah tomorrow at 9 a.m. I will go to the gym Wednesday and Friday. No why, no backstory, no justification. This is what separates people who change from people who talk about changing. One group has a text, the other group has blah blah blah. Now, here's the part nobody talks about. Because even if you do steps 1-3 perfectly, there's a biological rebound effect. Your brain will fight back, and if you don't account for it, you'll relapse into the loop within 48 hours. Your brain will try to drag you back into blah blah blah. It's been your default stress response for years. It's like quitting caffeine. Day 3, you feel like shit. So here's what you do. When you feel the urge to loop again, and you will, don't fight it with logic. Don't counter the thought. Redirect it to your body. The tool is called the 4-7-8 breath. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 7 seconds. Exhale for 8 seconds. Do it 3 times. Why does this work? The subcortical dominant lives in your brainstem. It doesn't speak language. It speaks sensation. When you regulate your breath, you're directly interrupting the spike. You're telling your nervous system, we're not in danger, we're not in crisis. And the blah blah blah, it loses fuel. If the breath doesn't work, here's the backup. Change rooms. Literally, walk to a different room or go outside. Your brain tags emotional states to physical locations. That's why you can feel fine all day, then walk into your bedroom and suddenly feel hopeless. The room primes the loop. It's stored in the walls, the furniture, the lighting. Break the location. Break the loop. Do this for 7 days, and something weird happens. Your friends will start to notice. They'll ask what changed, and you'll realize you don't have anything to complain about anymore. Not because your life is perfect, but because you stopped training for misery. One more thing, you're not just looping internally, you're surrounded by other people's blah blah blah, and it's contagious. Here's the tool. It's called the 48-hour Debbie detector. For the next 48 hours, track every conversation you have. Ask, is this person offering a text or just bleeding? Are they proposing a solution or are they collapsing on the table like Debbie? 80% of conversations are just mutual blah blah blah. Two people taking turns moaning. No action, just noise. If someone loops 3 times in a conversation, you have 2 choices. 1. Interrupt gently. Hey, we've said this 3 times. What's the actual next step? 2. Exit the conversation. Because if you stay, you will absorb their loop. Your brain mirrors theirs. It's called emotional contagion. Mirror neurons fire when you hear someone else's distress. Your subcortical dominant doesn't distinguish between your problems and theirs. It just hears the loop, and it joins in. You think you're being a good listener. You're actually just getting infected. Once you do this audit, you'll see it everywhere. The news, social media, your family dinners, and you'll understand why most people never change. They're swimming in a sea of blah, blah, blah. But not you, not anymore. This isn't a life hack. This is a fundamental rewiring of how you use language. Most people use words to describe their feelings. You now use words to construct reality. There's a term for this in Soviet psychophysiology, second signal system discipline. It's the difference between people who react to life and people who design it. Before, you were a passenger in your own head. Your thoughts just happened, and you narrated them. After, you're the editor. You catch the noise, you cut it, you inject the text, and the text becomes action. When someone asks, how are you dealing with problem? You won't have a 10-minute explanation anymore. You'll have a 10-second answer because you'll have a text. Or you'll say, I don't have a plan yet, so I'm not thinking about it. And that one sentence will separate you from 99% of people. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. The world doesn't owe you a solution, but your brain owes you silence until you have one. Stop complaining, start constructing.